surrounded him on every side, because getting shot at on his bike and jumped at football games made neutrality impossible. He described the culture as cold but embracing, a brotherhood for kids the world had already written off. He was jumped in, courted on through a fight, the way the set demanded, and from then on he was neighborhood Nip of the Rollin 60s. He never hid it. He wore it in tattoos, wrapped it into verses, and carried it through every police stop and every LAPD gang file that followed him for the rest of his life. He looked back at the odds of his own teenage years with a kind of grim arithmetic, noting that of his peers in the Rollin 60s when he was 14 and 15. None survived untouched and none avoided prison. None of them. He was the exception, and he knew it, and that knowledge shaped everything he built afterward. Because Nipsey did not just escape the trap, he turned around and started dismantling it. Through the mid-2000s, his mixtapes built a following the old-fashioned way, hand to hand, block to block. The Marathon series gave him a name and a philosophy. He famously sold his Crenshaw mixtape for $100 a copy, a move so bold that Jay-Z bought 100 of them. He refused the standard major label deals that swallowed artists whole, holding on to his masters and his independence when nearly everyone told him he was crazy. And then he did something rappers almost never do. He bought the block. In 2017, he opened the flagship Marathon clothing store at Slauson and Crenshaw, in the same strip mall where he had hustled as a teenager. He invested in Vector 90, a co-working and STEM space built to pipeline neighborhood kids toward tech careers. He hired locals, including former gang members nobody else would touch. He crossed enemy lines to collaborate with Bloods-affiliated artists like YG, modeling a unity the city had rarely seen. In 2018, his debut studio album, Victory Lap, earned a Grammy nomination for Best Rap Album. Through all of it, there was Emily. She was born in November 2008, his first child from his relationship with Tanisha Foster. Later came his partnership with actress Lauren London and their son Cross, born in 2016. Fatherhood was not a side note for Nipsey. It was a system, a daily practice. In an interview with NBA star Steph Curry before his death, he revealed the routine he ran with Emily every single morning on the way to school. "That's our script every morning. Integrity, confidence, and being a leader," he said. He made his daughter recite those values like multiplication tables. Integrity, confidence, leadership, over and over, drop off after drop off, drilling a worldview into a little girl the same way he drilled discipline into his business. In February 2019, he brought 10-year-old Emily as his date to the Grammy Awards. She wore a gown. He wore a tux. They walked the carpet hand in hand. The kid from Slauson and his daughter dressed for a future that finally looked secure. The pictures from that night show a man at the summit of everything he had fought for. Father mogul, hometown hero, Grammy nominee. Nobody looking at those pictures could have imagined that within 7 weeks, Emily would be a daughter without a father, and that the parking lot where he built his dream would become a crime scene the whole world would see on video. 35 minutes on a Sunday afternoon. March 31, 2019 was a Sunday. Nipsey Hussle spent that afternoon doing what he did constantly, standing in the parking lot of the Marathon clothing store at the 3400 block of West Slauson Avenue, greeting people, signing autographs, no security wall between himself and his neighborhood. He had reportedly come that day to help a friend who had just come home from prison.